When you go to the doctor, pay attention to what medicine your doctor prescribed you. If you're not careful and you don't pay attention, it could ruin your life. This married man with 4 children lost a $140,000 paying job in the most craziest way because he didn't pay attention to the medicine his doctor was prescribing him. Let me explain. One day, this married man traveled from Tennessee to New Mexico to visit some old friends he was good friends with in college. His wife and his 4 children didn't travel with him to visit his friends in New Mexico because they had a planned cruise that was going on. The husband couldn't go because he had a very important interview. So he was going to visit his friends in New Mexico and head back to Tennessee to go on this job interview. Mind you, this man desperately needed a job. He'd been out of work for 6 months since he got laid off from his last job. And this new job paid $140,000. So he really needed this job. So when he got done catching up with his friends in New Mexico, he decided to drive back to Tennessee. While he was driving back to Tennessee, he realized he had a very bad cough. Now, mind you, he had that very bad cough for 2 weeks. He went to the doctor several times. They gave him cough syrup and they gave him antibiotics, but none of that didn't work. So while he was driving home, he looked on Google Maps and found a nearby hospital in a city he wasn't familiar with. When he walked into the hospital, he told them about his cough and it's very bad. He said he tried Halls, NyQuil, everything, and he told him he'd been to the clinic a couple times. So the doctors did several tests on him. They did blood work and they even did a chest x-ray. They wanted to see what was going on, if he had pneumonia or anything like that. After they did all of their tests, they found out he had a respiratory infection. They prescribed him 2 cough medicines and some antibiotics. They told him to take it 3 times a day as needed. So this man took his medicine for a week, like the doctor said, and he took his cough medicine up to 3 times a day as needed. When he got done with the medicine, he threw all the bottles away because he was doing much better. He wasn't coughing anymore. One day after he threw all his medicines away, he went on that very important job interview that he desperately needed that paid $140,000. He aced the interview. They end up offering him the job. When they offered him the job, they went ahead and started the background process and the drug test process. This man called his wife and children and he was screaming in excitement. Now, mind you, this man was the breadwinner. His wife didn't work, so it was imperative he get this job. This job came right on time because they were starting to get behind on their bills. But something very strange happened with this job that no one seen coming that would blow your mind. So the next 4 days, this man haven't heard nothing from the job, so he started to get worried and a little suspicious. It didn't make any sense. He thought his background and his drug test would come back way faster than that. So this man ended up calling the job back to see why his background and his drug test was taking so long. It didn't make any sense. He don't have a criminal history and he never did drugs a day in his life. When he called them, someone called him back a couple of hours later from medical, and they said they found something in his drug test. They asked him, was he taking any medications? He said yes, he's taking blood pressure medication, and he gave them the names of the medication. They then told him they found codeine in his drug test. They asked him, did he have a prescription or explanation why he have codeine in his system? At this point, the man was honestly confused. He didn't know what codeine was, so he asked him, what is codeine? They told him it was a narcotic and he had to have a prescription for it. Do he have a prescription? The only thing this man could think of is the medicine the doctor prescribed him. He told them they prescribed him some cough medicine and some antibiotics to help with his cough. They then asked him to send them a picture of the medication. They wanted to see he really had a prescription for it, but he didn't. He threw it away. So after he told them he threw it away, they asked him what was his doctor name, what hospital he went to, so they can see if they can verify somehow that he had a prescription. He wasn't sure. He told them he was traveling from New Mexico visiting some friends, and he just stopped at a hospital in a city he wasn't familiar with, but he told them he could find out. After that, he found out he was denied for the job. If this man knew his medicine had codeine in it before he took his drug test, he would have let them know the medicine had codeine and he would have kept his prescription. He wasn't paying attention to the prescription. He didn't even know what codeine was. If you're about to apply for a job, or you're about to go to orientation, or your company do random drug tests, be careful and pay attention to what your doctor prescribed you. Because if your doctor prescribed you something that can cause you to fail a drug test, and you can't prove that you have that prescription because you threw it away, the company is probably going to move on.